Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about this podcast. It's called the DK Project, but it's really the Darren Show. The DK Project is a radio show, but without the radio. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Let's go!
Welcome back to the DK Project, episode 131, coming at you from not so sunny Mountain, Minnesota. And on the Zoom with us, we have got comedian. I mean, you got a whole list. Your business card's like 8 by 10, 8.5 by 11, eh? It's Kevin Neary. How are you, sir?
Thanks, DK. How are you today? All right, buddy?
I am good, man. I am living the dream, as they say, I guess. I'm in search of it, but, you know, I don't know. The jury's out.
We have something in common here in Pennsylvania compared to where you are in Minnesota right now.
What's that? You got this...
severe depression.
Oh, cloudy shit. I'm telling you, man. But you guys aren't locked down, are you?
We're locked down, unemployed, and loving every minute of it.
We'll just wait till Uncle Biden gets in there. He'll fix all that. That other voice that you're hearing is Mr. Tony Kaz coming at us from the great Nor'east, and we've got a trifecta show today with all the new ingredients, and got a bunch of different options we're going to work through and see what sticks and make it a good time. That's what we're after. So these guys are joining us and trying on some new stuff. So I kind of like it. All right. So with that being said, we need to get right out of the gate.
Breaking news on the DK Project.
Do we have a weather report, Tony?
Well, Darren, yes, we do. Here I am on the scene right here in sunny Northeast Pennsylvania. Holy cow, my camera. Yes, I am on the scene in sunny Northeast Pennsylvania, right where it is colder than a witch's ta-ta. Yes, Darren.
Are you standing in the storm now?
How cold is it, Tony? And you may say to yourself, go ahead, you may say it.
How cold is it, Tony?
Well, Darren, it is cold enough to freeze almost everything here in Northeast PA, including my soul. Yes, including my soul. Now, I just needed to let everyone know that in Northeast Pennsylvania, not only is the crack house that right behind me here, as you guys can happen to see, also frozen over.
Look at that crack house.
Yeah, it goes to show you that not only is hell frozen over, but Northeast Pennsylvania has followed.
So tell us this, Tony, from the scene, is the crack house froze up and there is no activity at the crack house?
There is no activity at the crack house. There is no heat in the crack house, as you would probably assume. And
my.
Yeah.
This is breaking news.
For a crack house, he wouldn't be able to afford a grill. But he did. He did. I think he got it as a gift.
So are we?
Is it because they're spending all their money on crack?
It could be it, Kevin. That is exactly it. As a matter of fact.
Is that like so if you're a crackhead, is that something where you maybe send a little gift over to your dealer? Like, hey, thanks for all the good drugs this year.
Just for the holidays too. And I mean, not only during the holidays, since it is almost Christmas, by the way. And
Darren, I think it works the same way with tenants do with their supers. You know, they give them a tip at the end.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the ticket.
Yeah. Same
a grill, a rake, a hoe, whatever you may be paying for in your Christmas goodie bag.
Emphasis on the hoe. So outside of the crack house shut down due to the cold, are people moving around? I mean, how many inches did you get?
There are a plethora of inches there, Darren. I must say, the lady across the street almost hit my car, which is fantastic.
That would be breaking news.
Yeah. Wait, here I'll happen to go over to this one too.
Boom! It looks like somebody already hit it.
Yeah.
They did.
Yep. No, wait. She's backing up still. She's going. She's still going. Oh, wait. There she goes. Okay.
There she
goes. Anyway,
right. Riveting breaking news
you
from
had
the
me
location.
On the edge of my seat there for
it was almost there. It was so
seconds
close.
at a time, strung together.
So, how much snow did you get?
Well, Darren, before I happen to run from these snowmen around here, we are looking at like I said, a plethora of inches. Look, it's a frozen tundra out here. The goodies are cold, and I'm not used to this cold weather, brother. I hate it.
Is this not normal for you guys?
This is abnormal for us for Northeast Pennsylvania. We haven't had a good snowstorm in probably 4 years.
So does everything just shut down? What's happening?
Everything's just shut down, brother.
Set the scene. No cars. No nothing.
Well, Darren, I can kind of explain the attitude of a Pennsylvanian. This is what we do. Whenever a lot of snow happens, we all gather around, shovel the snow, and then act like we're heroes, like we did something, like we defeated the snow.
All right.
I'm going to lead into a funny story, Darren. There I am, humping the snow over my shoulder with my good old shovel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to town on it, and I see all my neighbors outside. Every single one of them, Darren. If you could look down that way, you can see. Oh wait,
who shovels the crackhead's place?
You'll see a bunch of people that did the snow blow. They did snow blow in front of their house. Now you would think to yourself, Kevin, wow, look at that poor guy over there schlepping some snow.
Tony, you sounded like Brian Williams getting off the plane in Afghanistan there for a second. And there I was, under fire. Missiles flying by the window.
You would have thought, Kevin, you would have thought that they would have offered a good blow every once in a while.
The crew.
Nothing. They gave you nothing. Not even an offer.
I got nothing. I asked for a quick blow, and they looked at me funny, and I said, whoa, not in that way.
Hey, now. Hey.
Whoa.
So you had to shovel your own driveway?
Had to shovel my own
They thought
driveway.
You meant oral sex by that, right, Tony?
That's probably true.
Man, those bastards. I swear to God.
The crackhead came out of his house. He was draped in blankets.
If I had a nickel for every time I got misinterpreted for oral sex when I said the word blow, I'd have about $1.50 right about now. So several times.
How about who shovels the crackhead spot?
Nobody. He leaves it. He's a very derelict spot. So as you can see over my shoulder, nothing was done.
Where does he park his hoopty?
He can't afford a hoopty.
Oh, he's public transportation.
He's public transportation hoopty. And
that's got to be solid for your property value, huh?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Wow. How long has the crackhead been there?
Crackhead's been, we've owned this property for 2 years, and Crackhead's been there for 2 years. More than longer than that, but.
Have you actually seen him smoking crack?
I haven't seen him smoking crack, but someone did OD in his house with heroin.
That could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Happens all the time.
The police came. Police came and arrested him a couple of days later.
Any shots fired?
No shots fired. It was a quickie for them. They just busted down the door, raided the place for drugs, which included heroin, crack, and pills.
A buffet, if you will.
Twas a buffet, my friend. Twas a buffet.
Oh my God! Good luck selling that place.
Yeah, that was like a buffet. Yeah, that was same buffet that the Rolling Stones go to. Well, look at that: crack, pills, heroin.
Hey,
we're here.
Look look how old the Rolling Stones are, and they're still rocking.
They're
something to be
see that, kids?
Man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. This is where we insert the drug awareness PSA.
Yeah.
So what is
drugs
the
are
forecast
deadly
for the
unless
rest
your
of the
name is
week?
Keith Richards, basically, right? Yeah.
What's that?
Drugs can be deadly unless your name is Keith Richards, basically, right?
Exactly. He's got the antivirus to the antivenom.
He is the coronavirus. I guarantee it. We're in the most deadliest year of mankind, and Keith Richards is still roaming around, poking himself in every hole, taking every pill, smoking a cigarette, drinking some whiskey, like nothing's going on.
How old is
that?
He?
Should have been your first indicator that. What's that?
How old is Keith Richards?
He's 74 years old.
Well, we're assuming 174 years old.
He's just been preserved.
Have you ever seen the old pictures of what's his name, Keanu Reeves?
Have I what?
There's a film from the 16 or 1700s of a guy that looks like Keanu Reeves.
No. No.
Oh, you got to look it up. It's fantastic.
They have
it's
they have these pictures that went viral one day, Darren. There was these pictures that went viral of celebrities standing next to look-alike paintings of historical people from way back in the day. Somebody tried to prove that there was like a past life thing going on, which I always find really suspicious, that people's past lives are a lot better than their current present life.
There is like,
that. You ever hear about somebody's past life where they're like, oh my God, I was a warrior in my past life and blah, blah, blah. And I killed this amount of soldiers. It's like, well, there, Paul, sounds like you're just a piece of shit nowadays. So,
hey, could you just top off my Diet Coke there? I got to get going.
Yeah.
I totally hear you, man. I think
inside of plastic. Thanks. Yeah.
In this video with Keanu Reeves, does he say "Vaya con Dios" at all?
Well,
does he say "brah"?
It's not a video. It's a side-by-side picture with the portrait. And Kevin hit it right on the head, man. It's a fantastic lookalike. And this guy, I guess, who was in the Wild West of some sort, looks identical, like spot on to Keanu Reeves.
Well, and I would love to look it up, but the odds of me spelling Keanu right are really slim.
Keanu.
Just like it sounds, huh?
Yeah.
Just like it sounds, yeah.
So there's a 15,
apparently his parents were drug addicts, so they didn't want to, take a lot of time to spell things themselves.
There's a 1530 and 1875.
Yes.
And then all of his current stuff. I would say that the 1530 looks pretty.
That's spot on.
And how old is Keanu Reeves?
Keanu's, man, he's right 50. Around 50 now.
I just had a guy in for a show who's on local TV. He looks like maybe 35, and he's not. He's 35 plus 20. And I'm like,
wow.
So I'm going to call him back. I got to get it. I got to see what he's doing to his skin. I mean, geez.
Oh, yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Maybe he doesn't leave his house because of the pandemic.
Hey, Keanu is 56, and he was born in Beirut, Lebanon. Huh. But he's a Canadian actor. Do the math. I don't know. It just works. So
Canadians like to take credit for a lot of that.
Yeah.
They like to either forget or admit that they have Justin Bieber on their team.
That could go either way.
Yeah. They're like, you can have him, but we still count him as Canadian.
We don't want him. Although he's straightened himself out. He's a good kid now. Straight and narrow. So, Kevin, how are you handling the storm? What are you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I got stores that are surrounding me, like a gas station, grocery store. I'm fine. I'm in walking distance of everything, so I'm perfectly fine. I just I like to play a little game at night. It's sit there by my windowsill and watch people slip in the one patch of ice that wasn't salted by PennDOT, and
lawsuit.
Ooh, how about the hill, Kevin? The hill.
Are you on the hill?
Yeah, when they try to get up towards the hill, there's this hill where I live, and stupidly, I mean, I guess it's for safety purposes, but if you're already on a roll when you're going uphill, you're going to want to continue that even if the light is red. Well, people like to stop, then their wheels lock up and they continue to go backwards. So far, a couple people have had some problems with that. And it's right outside my window, so it's like pure entertainment.
Oh, it's like a TV without having to pay for cable. I love it.
Exactly. I mean, I just have the TV on for background noise. That way, if I'm talking to somebody on the phone, they don't think I'm some kind of homeless shud.
Yeah, it's Life Roku.
Yeah, I'm a Roku guy.
I'm a Roku guy.
I don't mind it. Stay tuned for more after this word from our sponsors. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Tasty Whitey's Edible Holiday Underwear. If you're struggling to get that special someone the perfect gift, how about a delicious pair of edible undies? Available in many tasteful holiday flavors, including eggnog, wintergreen, peppermint, gingerbread, butter brittle. And for those of you not into Christmas, we have options for you as well, like gefilte mint, dreidel brown, flavors for every occasion and every season. For a limited time only, get free sprinkles and glitter with every purchase, which makes decorating edibles fun like it used to be. But wait, there's more. Order today, and we'll throw in a limited edition pair of our designer edible gloves. Nothing says Merry Christmas like a candy cane flavored pair of isotoners.
Tasty Whitey's Edible Holiday Undies. Check them out on the web at tastywhitey'sedible.drawers.com.
Today's restaurant spotlight is Surfside Bar and Grill. During the pandemic and these crazy times, thanks Governor Walz, we need to support local. That's why today the DK Project is highlighting Surfside Bar and Grill, located in Mound, Minnesota. They have a full menu of made-to-order delicacies. This place is top shelf, and I'm looking at their website. They are open from 4 to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday for takeout and delivery. The delivery's within 3 miles of the restaurant and a $30 minimum. So give them a call at 952-283-1136. Again, that's 952-283-1136. And check them out on the web at surfsidebarandgrill.com.
Welcome back to the DK Project.
Third Friday of December, National Underdog Day, recognizes America's loves its underdogs.
Yeah, we do love our underdogs.
Not as in the underdog.
This is why the Raiders and the Chargers went to overtime last night.
God, was that a shit show, huh? It was interesting, but it wasn't a great game at all.
No, it wasn't. No. So, you know what it was? It was the referees decided, and I don't like to blame the referees. I don't really enjoy people that do, but man, oh man, when you're seeing it like left and right, the referees were allowing the Chargers to interfere with the wide receivers of the Raiders for a majority of the time, but the other way around wasn't happening. So John Gruden, I hate giving John Gruden credit because the guy is he's more talk than he is skill, and you could tell because you could tell by his Super Bowl win. He had the other team's playbook, literally.
Who did he win a Super Bowl with?
He won the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but in that same year, he was the coach for the Raiders, and midway through the season, he became the coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, and he had to play against, spoiler alert, the Raiders, who he coached earlier that year.
Coincidence?
The same year.
I don't think so.
John Gruden.
Interesting stuff right there. How do you think the football is going to shake out? Now, my Vikings are horseshit again this year, and we are looking to, it's a rebuilding year. You know, we've got the most powerful offense.
The weird thing for the Vikings, and I really feel bad for Vikings fans because you guys had 3 different options as far as quarterback, and you said goodbye to all 3 options, which was I think Case Keenum at the time, which he was looking pretty good for you guys.
Killer last season. The last season he was with us.
Bad. Very serviceable. Yep. Very serviceable as quarterback. You had Sam Bradford, which he's been always hurt, but still he's got the intelligence of a quarterback. And I forget Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater was number 3. Yeah. He said goodbye to every single one of the options and said, hey, Robert Griffin III's afterthought. Yeah, we're talking to you, Kirk Cousins. You want money? A lot of it. And he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Get over here. We're going to give you money, guaranteed money.
$30 million a year.
Insane amount of money.
Kirk
Cousins is blamed for the standard of what NFL quarterbacks are paid for right now. Colin Kaepernick, his agent, has to use the Kirk Cousins example just for and this is actually public legal documents, use the Kirk Cousins example on what a player that only got into the playoffs one time and lost is paid compared to what his client isn't allowed in the league anymore. But obviously that has more political implications about that than anything. Your coach is good. Zimmer's a good coach. Yeah. Zimmer's a good coach. You got a great run game. You had a decent defense. I don't know what the hell happened to that idea. Now you have a defensive-minded coach. So normally defensive-minded coaches say to themselves, I don't care who you give me on defense. My scheme, I could put anybody in my scheme and they'll be good.
I would agree.
But I don't. And Stephon Diggs, who I don't blame you guys for getting rid of. Okay, you guys got Justin Jefferson. He was a sleeper of the draft right there.
Stephon Diggs, he was great.
Stephon Diggs was nice.
Yeah,
but this is the big problem with Stephon Diggs. Hey, Stephon, how you feeling today? Oh, you know what? I stubbed my toe in the grass. So, I guess I'm questionable today. Okay, you're questionable? Yeah. And then you're like, he's just questionable over that. That's a bunch of crap. Yeah. He'll come back, no problem. And what happens? And what happens? Oh, he's out for the whole game.
Well, he used to piss and moan a lot if he didn't get enough throws to him, and like really spoiled brat syndrome on that cat. But we got the walk-on Adam Thiessen, who's killer.
Yeah. No,
and then we got that, what is it, Justin Jefferson or whatever? Top shelf. Now we just need a gunslinger. That Kirk Cousins is not the answer. I keep saying that.
Justin Jefferson, man.
Yeah, we have to keep him now. How are we going to keep him? He's going to be like, I want to go play for a real team. I want to win. So I
want to be that agent who gets people like RG3 and Kirk Cousins to get them to almost $1 billion contract, like multi-million-dollar contract. And he gets up on the into the boardroom and he's like, "Hey, I got a great guy for you. He does great. He has a great arm.
He's good at everything but football. We just got to work on a couple things."
I would honestly focus on the who are these 1-year chippers and not Cam Newton. I'm a big Cam Newton fan, but I'm not going to let my fandom of Cam Newton block my logic of what his arm's been able to do, which is about 4 to 6 yards per play. Cam Newton has slowly turned into what Sam Bradford's last year is.
Wasn't Sam Bradford the cross-eyed
still run with the ball? But what I would suggest the Vikings do is just get rid of Kirk Cousins, or at least have somebody with a little bit more talent breathe down his back.
We got nobody behind him.
Because that sometimes kicks them into gear.
Nobody behind him.
Nobody's behind him.
He had the worst game ever. I think like multiple interceptions, and they left him in because we got nobody. All they got to do is take him out, and we'll have to have Justin Jefferson cover for him. Did you guys ever see that Chicago Bear game way back when, like 80 something, when all of their quarterbacks got hurt and Walter Payton had to take a couple snaps?
I remember watching.
Man, that was a big day.
I was still in God's pocket at the time there, Darren, but I watched the game on
this
wonderful technology we have on the old ESPN, or not old ESPN, but old NFL films. But I know what you're talking about though. Yeah. Walter Payton had to come in there for a couple snaps.
And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need one of our, maybe Dalvin Cook can take a few snaps and make some magic happen. I don't know. We have all the pieces. Although I feel bad for you guys. You're Eagles fans, right?
Oh God, no.
No? What do you latch right on?
I'm a Dolphins fan myself.
You're what?
I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Why?
Which I liked Dan Marino when he was a quarterback back in the 90s. That was my quarterback, and saw him play some amazing games. And I said to myself, you know what? I'll be a Dolphins fan. Because at the time, the Eagles, who do they have? Randall Cunningham? Oh, big deal. Have fun with Whitney Houston on an island.
We had him. We had him for a little while too. We take all that used.
Randall was very refined when he was on the Vikings. You got him the Vikings got Randall Cunningham as a matured quarterback who didn't care to run the ball anymore because he physically couldn't, which was probably the better version. Yeah, he was older. Yeah, he was older.
Not as old as Brett Favre was when he came to town.
That was a fun team to watch though, because you're like, really, Brett Favre? Really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Brett Favre was iconic, man. He's the guy that could throw in and out of the pocket. He had a long hammer, man. He had the skill. He had all the skill to become a great well, not that he wasn't a great quarterback. When he made his return, of course, he was more washed up than ever. But
and I think that now he's pushing the wraparound magnets, copper so I can get my joints moving
what he's
again.
Doing now?
Him and
that's got to be a great gig, man. That's Shaquille O'Neal doing the back, not back knee stuff. The what is it? Icy hot.
That's like Allen Iverson selling healing crystals. It's all bull crap.
Voodoo. I just saw the commercial with Brett Favre and Jerry Rice, and they're playing a little football in the park. And then when they're done, they walk away and they're like, "You think that was fair?" And he goes, "Who cares, man? It was fun." It's like, oh, great, Brett. Good job.
That's the one argument I bring up with some people when it's not even like an argument. It's just a player. And Jerry Rice. If Jerry Rice is on your team and you have Joe Montana, right? You have Joe Montana. He's a great quarterback, probably one of the best ever play. But if another quarterback comes in there, Steve Young does the same thing with Jerry Rice. Are these two great quarterbacks we're looking at, or just one really great wide receiver?
I've never been a big, who was the second guy?
Steve Young.
See, I've never been a Steve Young guy. Joe Montana is a legend. Steve Young was like, it's kind of like the follow-up, like that asshole in Green Bay right now. He's kind of the follow-up to Brett Favre,
Aaron Rodgers and Steve Young have a lot in common. They're both mobile quarterbacks, won Super Bowl. They're probably at the same kind of Hall of Fame level that they should be in. So it's funny that you bring up that Aaron Rodgers there, because they're typically the same type of quarterback.
Well, and I bring it up because that's exactly the problem with the Vikings is we got nobody in the bullpen. We got nobody. Where Aaron Rodgers worked underneath Favre forever, and Steve Young worked under Joe Montana forever. So then they were ready to take flight, and they just dominated. We don't have that. We don't have that at all. But
it would be nice. I mean, you could be in a worse situation. You could be a Lions fan.
There's no excuse for that. Well, I could be a New England Patriots fan this year. They're kind of sucking hog. They had so many years of success that the fans are just taking off this year. They're like, it's COVID. They'll blame it on COVID. They won't even call it anything. That's probably true. What about the I just had this sports guy in on the podcast, and because he gets to go to the games, and he's like, it is so quiet in those stadiums that you don't have to mic up the players. You can hear everything they say. It would be such a different dynamic to, almost like you're watching a practice or something. Like it's so weird with no fans. And then that fake music they pipe in, come on. Or not music, but fan noise. I watched the Florida State game last weekend, and they were at like 75% capacity. And then you watch the Tampa Bay game, because we played Tampa Bay, and they were at probably 50% capacity. Our governor won't allow anyone in that stadium unless you have press credentials or equipment to put on to play. And I just think it's such a bunch of hoo-ha right now. I think
that most of the public thinks that, and I don't want to like spread any kind of propaganda at all, but I think a lot of the public compare it to other negative situations that they wish would have had the same kind of a critical criteria that COVID-19 has had. Like if only we treated homelessness and hungriness the same way that we're treating a disease that's microscopic in the air, to the same way, where we lock everybody down and say, hold on, everybody, we have people that don't have health care. We're going to lock everybody down and find out if they actually, if we can actually give them health care. So we're going to shut everything down and make sure that one after another has health care and a house and food on the table. So I think the mass public is more concerned that the government doesn't use this kind of power on things that would provide people their basic needs that have been solved before.
It's coming.
Kevin, my crackhead neighbor would be loving this right now if he weren't locked up in jail.
Well, I mean, your crackhead neighbor is trying to kill himself with drugs because his reality is so sad, unfortunately.
Here on the DK Project, we don't like to make assumptions. We don't know that. He may have other reasons for his chemical-based life.
My particular crackhead neighbor used to get the water from outside the rain spigot from his house because he couldn't afford the water bill.
That is inventive, though.
Man, I bet it smells cherry really in that house. He's probably happy to be in jail rather than staying in that shithole. I mean, really.
Oh, my God, I can shower. Yay!
Yeah, exactly. I get to shower every day? Get the hell out of here. What do they, well, I'm sure they can get some crack in prison. So with that being said, what happens to your, well, the Dolphins are actually doing okay this year, right?
We're not doing terrible. We haven't, mind you, Darren, we played the Jets twice. That's already 2 wins.
I think honestly, aren't the Jets like the Lions? I mean, they've now, are they like 0-11 or something?
I would find them if I was the NFL because they're going into intentional tank mode. Greg Williams, their defensive coordinator, got fired for calling a blitz play that worked. So I'm not even joking. It was widely reported where, they're like, hey, Greg Williams, if you call this blitz play that you're pretty sure is going to work, you're fired. He called it anyways. You're talking to a guy that has a contract. Do you think he cares about taking off a couple extra weeks? He's going to get the money.
Well, it's the race for Trevor Lawrence at this point. I mean, we'd love to have him. I mean, but we're not.
Oh, man.
If he
Trevor
comes out.
Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence looks like Johnny Lawrence's son from Karate Kid, the Karate Kid movies. Long blonde hair, big nose.
Quarterbacks go to die.
Now wait a minute. Have you looked at that piece of shit, the Cobra Kai series? I guess I showed my hand before I brought the question up, but I watched the first season.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. I have seen the first season. I liked it. It was likable. It was totally watchable. It was the only good thing that YouTube had going.
Stop after the first season. It is bad. It is bad. I started watching the second, and it's so bad. That Ralph Macchio, he's never done anything of any value except the Karate Kid. But
he was in My Cousin Vinny.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But without Joe Pesci and that.
But no, Darren, I see what you're saying. Like anyone could have played that role in My Cousin Vinny. You can throw anybody in there. You could throw Tony Dance's brother, who doesn't really speak so well, in there. I don't even know if Tony Dance has a brother, but no, I get what you're saying. So you throw anybody in there, and like I don't know Joe Pesci.
They did. So something about Macchio's always kind of bugged me, and I can't figure out what it is. So while I'm watching this Karate Kid redo, the Cobra Kai shit, the one Sensei is doing Quicken commercials. It's just sick. But if you take a look at a side by side of Ralph Macchio and a normal person, he has absolutely no definition to his body. He is the easiest person to fit into a coffin there ever was. He is a direct rectangle. Not that I'm saying anything.
He sits on the couch and binges himself.
It's the weirdest figure. What the hell? The weirdest build you've ever seen. Somebody didn't mute their phone.
Uh-oh.
That's me.
What'd you do, Darren? Way to go.
No. That's another guy I do a show with. So pulling up the Newswire today. We like to get to a little local news as we wrap up the show. From Grand Haven, Michigan. Nice area near the lake, I think. A man who sued his parents for getting rid of his porn stash. Western Michigan, and he's seeking compensation.
I love that guy.
They got a judge involved in everything. He's looking for at least $29,000.
$20,000.
Yeah.
20 grand.
Yeah. No, 30 grand.
30 grand. Oh, even better.
29,000. There is no question that the destroyed property was David's property. All right. Defendant repeatedly admitted that they destroyed the property. So the parents are admitting to saying, "Hey, we got rid of it." So,
oh yeah,
are they liable? I mean, like, what could possibly happen in this scenario?
Darren, I'm going to sum up this story for you in about let's say under 10 words. The guy was a loser. His wife noted that he was a loser. Loser moves in with parents. Loser sues parents in order to get money so that he can move away to become a bigger.
So we also signed for the show. I
was counting more than 10 words there. That's what I'm trying to do. He's like, let me sum this up in 10 words.
Hey,
the guy was, and then here we got a book written.
He was just out in the cold. He's not thinking straight.
I can't feel my hands.
Oh man,
he left the house, moved out.
Oh yeah.
And had a gal, and then he moved back in.
Yeah.
And so did the porn collection come with the move back in, or was it there on the move out? He ended up
getting a divorce. That's what it was. He got a divorce.
Oh.
He had to move all of his stuff into his mom and dad's house. They held it for him. And that's where the slippery little eel wiggles its way into the story, because technically, once you already accept someone else's property, said property is now your problem. So,
dun 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 dun
dun dun dun, Perry Mason.
Really?
He sued his parents because they threw it out, and they had told, if you actually read towards the bottom of the story, they actually tell you the mom got up on I guess some sort of press release and said, I just wanted him to grow up. He was such a loser.
Wow. Thanks, Mom.
He was going nowhere. He was going nowhere, Darren. Nowhere.
Obviously, I don't know. That's taking it a little too far. I mean, made national news.
A scumbag sues his parents because they threw out, and this is the thing.
Do you think it's a gimmick?
$30,000 worth of porn, dude. And even in the article,
let's give credit where credit's due. That's a solid collection.
That's a solid collection.
Now, Darren, who the hell is appraising this porn? That's what I want to know. Like, he gets an appraiser over, like, get over here.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking to an appraiser, and the value is in the eye of the beholder.
Now, let's say even at a $5 or $10 DVD, per his collection, that's even at
oh boy, here we go with math.
He had to have at least 6,000 DVDs, right? But not only 6,000 DVDs, it also says toys in the article as well.
Some blow-ups, some rideables. Right.
Those will run you some extra bucks right there.
Oh yeah.
From butt plugs to what we were talking about yesterday, double-sided dildos. Tell me, I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff. Cock cages, choke chains, all sorts of stuff. As wild as your imagination can go on porn toys, this guy probably had 4 of them or plus.
Okay.
That's how you're getting. That's how you get run into the 30 grand category.
So we're fast forwarding. Had a couple blow-up wives, if you catch my drift. We're fast forwarding, and it's not a COVID. Say it's not a COVID year. What does it look like around the Thanksgiving table or around the Christmas table where you're like, fucking Johnny sued us for that
Darren,
porn
this
thing?
Is the kind of place. Is it at his house or is it at the parents' house? Because I would think that at his house, they would all be wearing leather masks right now.
Do you think he really can't go back to their house? Like,
no.
Once you go out with that follow, you're done.
You have to be that stepdad. You have to give him that stepdad talk. Like, me and your mother are inviting you to Thanksgiving dinner. We'd appreciate it if you don't bring one of your blow-up towels, and that you smell like something besides Vaseline this time.
And you're sitting over there.
I can see him.
Just bring yourself
answering the door. Kevin, I can see him in particular answering the door with nipple rings, edible underwear, and a black zipper mask.
Oh, yeah. Like, you can't control me, Hal. It's got to be a stepdad name, like Hal.
You don't know shit.
Yeah, he's a Hal or a Tom.
I don't know. On to the next story. Illegal winery busted at Alabama town sewage plant. Did you see that one? So, Rainsville, Alabama. Sheriff officials say that they busted an illegal winery that was operating at a municipal sewage plant in a small North Alabama town.
Talk about some
only in Alabama. Well, thank you, Alabama, for being such a terrible, terrible state.
Roll Tide.
Darren, talk about some shitty wine like that.
Hey, now this smells like shit a little bit. Yeah, it's a special for. There's that. Speaking of which,
besides the shit days, it's really good.
They the agency seized a lot of illegal alcohol, and they're expecting arrests. The town of 5,100 people is 100 miles north of Birmingham. The shit smell obviously here is a sewage problem. There's a restaurant near me that's called whatever. I don't even want to bring it up. But I've eaten there twice, and both times it's all that fucking farm to table, natural shit, whatever, healthy, organic. And both times I've eaten there, I left going, it smells like fucking manure in there. Like it stinks like shit. And there's nobody in there. So it's not like someone just came out of the can and, after rocking the can and comes out and it smells. It was like, I think they might be like fertilizing the food in manure, and they're not cleaning it off before they bring it to the restaurant. So I'm not going back. I'm not going back. But what if this is really good wine? Like, what if it's like, oh my God, that sewage really brings out the tannins in the flavors, like, I mean, do you keep going? Like once they've discovered
subtle notes of nut.
Yeah.
You can taste the dirt. But that sewage flavor. So fantastic.
But once you've fallen in love with it and then you find the proverbial turd in the bucket, do you keep like, oh, it's only a $9 bottle, man. It's really good. I get really jacked up on it and this is good.
Yeah, you have to let the wine breathe. It's just one soft fart noise. Like,
is that what happens? That's what happens when you pull the cork. You get a little gassy noise. It definitely would spark some lawsuits, I would think. In this day and age, you're not getting away with that. That is not cool.
You could get away with that when it comes to beer, but not wine.
Right.
You get the wine crowd out there.
A little more high society, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about
yeah.
I get it.
The box of wine they buy has to be biodegradable, you know.
I get that you open up the bucket and it's
box
like
of wine, you psycho.
I don't drink wine, so I don't, and it's only because I don't want to risk this type of situation coming up. Because there's underground wineries where they're running sewage plants and they're bottling wine. It happens all the time. I just can't take the risk. Sticking to
black market wine dealers coming from Alabama. Yeah,
some of the good shit. All right, boys.
They're out there.
We got to wrap this up. We've gone the gamut from football to winery to sewage to illegal porn collections. After we started off,
weather, sports, porn. I mean,
it's a full newscast, baby. Everything you need right here. Tony's already lost interest. We've hit a new level on the DK Project today. This wine stinks. Hey, we're gonna have to circle back for some weather updates to make sure that you guys survive, because that nor'easter, if you will, devastating.
Oh, it's crazy.
But we're gonna thank Kevin Neary, comedian. What else you do? List off some of your jobs.
Oh God, I server. I serve tables, comedy, acting. Options trading, rare
everything.
Paper money appraiser. As
Kevin,
far as
went entrepreneur.
Those are your wine drinkers.
I wear a lot. I wore a lot of different hats. I only feel bad for my tax guy, where he's just like, oh my God, you cannot write this off.
Hey, you know what? That's the right thing to say when you're on the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Mr. Tony Cruz, as always. I'm going to be on the Boys' show next week.
This coming Monday.
Yeah, we record at some ungodly hour.
We do.
Way past my bedtime. So I'll have to do hair and makeup earlier in the day so that I can look this amazing on your show.
You are a dapper individual, Darren.
I took my hat off. I look, I'm going.
I didn't want to say that you look like shit, but Is that
a callback to the winery? All right, boys, we got to wrap this up. I thank you so much for the time. Everyone tune in to the next episode of the DK Project, where you never know what's going to happen or where we're going to be. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks, guys. That's it. That's the end.
That's a wrap.
Read the shtick.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, thedkprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.